Tao Zhou says, "Hi Luke, I have one problem in English speaking. When should I say has? When I should say has, I say have. Chinese don't have the above differences. So could you please tell me how to solve this issue when I'm speaking?" Got it. So it's not, Tao Zhou, it's not that you don't know, it's that when you're speaking, it comes out wrong. Is that correct? That's a very important difference. And I think it's something that every English learner, every learner of any language should seriously think about. What's the difference between knowledge and skill? There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. If I were to write down a sentence that said, she have a pet cat, you would read that sentence on the piece of paper and say, whoa, that's incorrect. I know that that should be has a pet cat. I know that. So that's the knowledge part. Okay. So if you know something, then why doesn't it just automatically come out correctly every time? I know it. So if I know it, that means when I am speaking, it should just pop out of my mouth every time. And I think the main thing is that we often forget that languages are much more like skills than things that we say that we know, right? I know that I'm 32 years old. That's a piece of knowledge that I have, right? That's something I know in my head, right? Maybe, who knows if that's really true. I think I am. So is that the same as saying I know how to speak English? Is that the same as saying I know how to ride a bicycle? Most people would say, no, those are not the same thing. One of those is a fact about you, and the other is something that you've developed over time through practice and experience. And certainly you're better at those things now than you were the first time you did them. But often language gets classified as the knowledge, in the knowledge category. I'm 24 years old. I'm 32 years old. I know that it should be has instead of have. But in fact, that's only a first step, and the vast majority of the ability to use any language is on the other side, the muscle memory side, the skill side. So you know how to speak a language natively, not because you learned a rule, right? You speak Chinese. So why do you speak Chinese? You speak Chinese because you grew up in the language, surrounded by the language, using the language, starting off very slowly with mama and baba, right? And then going from there, learning the colors, all from the people around you. But it wasn't like first try, now I got it. It was a slow thing, like learning to ride a bicycle, like learning any sort of skill, right? Learning mountain climbing. You don't try to climb up the steepest rock face the first time. You start slowly, you build up the skills, you build up finger strength, right? On a bicycle, you slowly develop balance for a bicycle and how to turn. Have you ever seen the reverse bicycle? There's a channel called Smarter Every Day, and I can't remember that guy's name. The YouTube channel called Smarter Every Day. I would recommend watching this video where he builds a reverse steering bicycle, where he creates a bicycle where instead of when you go like this, the bicycle turns right, and you go like this, the bicycle turns left. When you go like this, the bicycle turns left, and when you go like this, it turns right. It's the opposite of what you think. And people say to themselves, oh, when I get on this, all I have to do is just know that. I just need to know that it's the opposite, and I'll just go ahead and do the opposite, and I'll be able to ride this. And then what people find out is, no, as soon as they get on that bicycle, they immediately crash. And they get on again, and they crash again, and they get on again, and they crash again, and they get on again, and they crash again. And it blows their minds because they thought that all they had to do was know that the bicycle is the opposite. This way is left. Now I know, so I can do it. It's exactly the same with your have and has issue. It's not a matter of knowing it. It's a matter of slowly building up the awareness of that and the habit of doing it. So you have to become hyper aware of yourself when you're speaking. And you have to get into the habit of stopping to correct yourself as though you would if you were writing sentences down. And maybe that requires you to speak more slowly. So I would challenge you next time you're in a conversation or speaking out loud, slow down your speaking speed by 50%. Speak slower and become extremely aware of everything that you're saying. Listen specifically for the have and the has issue. Just that. Just say to yourself, when I speak out loud, I'm going to speak slowly and I'm going to specifically listen for have and has. And if you ever hear yourself speaking has when it should be have, or have when it should be has, stop, go back, and make a correction. So, my cousin has a cat. Okay, so you've made the correction. Now you might think, oh, that it's going to be like that forever. No, that would be you crashing the first time on that reverse steering bicycle. That would be the first time you get on a bicycle. So that's the hardest one. It's going to get easier and easier to catch that specific issue when you're speaking until it flips over and it becomes a good habit. So you're going from bad habit to good habit. It just takes awareness, diligence, and focus, and slowing down can really help. Eventually, you're going to not need to stop and pause and correct that issue. Eventually, you'll hopefully still be speaking slowly. It will come out correctly the first time. And then it will become a habit so that you don't have to think about it anymore. The goal would be to not have to think about it anymore, like when you ride a bicycle. But it's not something you can just know. It's something you have to build up over time. It has to be a habit because speaking a language, using a language is over here on the skill side. And the skill side requires extensive practice. It requires habit building. It requires muscle memory. I think the bicycle is a perfect example. Once people gradually learned how to ride the bicycle the opposite way, they did something very interesting. So it took this guy, I believe, if I remember correctly, 8 months of trying every day to learn this backwards bicycle. It's a really great example. And after 8 months, he finally was able to ride it. Then he, after 8 months of working on that, he hadn't been on a regular bicycle in that period of time, went back to a regular bicycle. And what do you think happened? He immediately crashed. He couldn't ride that bicycle, the original bicycle, the regular bicycle, because he had learned the other one. So once you develop the habit correctly to use have the right way the first time, then it won't come out wrong anymore. And it will sound strange to you when you hear other people do it. And you won't even be able to make the mistake anymore, right? Like that guy forgot to ride a regular bicycle. He forgot how to do it. It's like there's a slot in your brain for that thing. And right now it's it's the backwards bicycle. It's wrong. And you need to relearn. But it's really going to take diligence, practice, focus, and awareness. So I hope that helps. I hope that example works. It might be worth in a future video actually sharing that video and looking at that bicycle example because I think it really is a good one. If you guys haven't already done so, don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, and check out my full courses in the links in the description.